welcome to another episode of Quick and Nerdy, an MSP-friendly how-to channel dedicated to Veeam-powered BAS and DRAS offerings. As always, I'm your host, Brandon McCoy, Solutions Architect supporting our Veeam Cloud and service providers. And today, we've got an all-new video. This is from the series on Veeam Data Cloud, and specifically Veeam Data Cloud Vault. Veeam Data Cloud is, of course, Veeam's line of hosted offerings, and Veeam Vault is our hosted storage, cloud-based, and there's multiple versions of this, multiple editions. There's a lot to unpack here, so I'm breaking this video up into two parts. This first video, I'm going to show you an introduction to Vault, why you might want to consider it as your cloud storage, and some of the differences, the different editions, the different flavors. Then we're going to move on to the second video where I'm going to show you how to create a subscription for your licensing of Vault inside of Pulse, how to create the Vault storage in your Veeam Data Cloud portal, and finally, how to attach that Vault storage to an instance of Veeam backup and replication. So let's get to it. And let's start out with why Veeam? Well, Veeam is the easy button. It is out of the box immutable cloud storage. So all of the security that you would normally have to set up when provisioning storage in some of these cloud vendors, that's all done for you by Veeam. Everything is controlled on that front. It's an easy deployment. It's hosted in both Azure and AWS, so the AWS is a rather new development. And, you know, I've moved into this new role of supporting Veeam Data Cloud, and I got to tell you, in the SaaS world, things are moving fast, baby. So, but that's great because all new features are coming. Things are continuing to be improved upon. So adding AWS to the Vault lineup is just giving you more options, more choice. We're going to talk about the differences between the two. Now, Vault is object-based storage, and this is great for space savings and compression, especially if you're doing long-term backups like weeklies, monthlies, yearlies. You're going to get a lot of space savings, and like I said, the immutability piece is based upon object storage technology. This is 24/7 Veeam support. So I love having one throat to choke. You got one vendor for your backup software and your storage. All of the API and egress fees are included, and this is probably one of the biggest factors if you're looking at us versus, why don't I just buy Azure Blob storage directly, which Vault is Azure Blob, and Vault for AWS is AWS S3. It's the same technology, but if you were to go with Azure or AWS, not only are you paying a per terabyte fee for the storage, you're also paying for APIs. So every time you write data, there's gets, puts, deletes, and then there's the egress for pulling the data out. With Veeam, all of that is baked in, so you have a simple per terabyte pricing. This typically reduces your cost, and it also eliminates bill shock, and you can have a good estimate of what your cost is going to be to your customers each month. And these products are seamlessly integrated with Veeam Backup and Replication, a few other products, and we'll talk about those in more detail. So now that we know why Vault, let's talk about the different flavors. So there's two editions. There's Foundation and Advanced. Foundation, MSRP, $14 a month per terabyte, and Advanced MSRP is $24 a month per terabyte. Now Foundation, this is more for your backup copy jobs, your archive jobs, not a primary repository, more of a set it and forget it. It does have a fair use policy of 20%. So those egress fees that I mentioned, the APIs, there's no limit on those, but the egress fees, there is a 20% limit per year based on your total capacity. So if you buy a terabyte, you can restore 20% of that within a given year. The Foundation is locally redundant storage, so you have 3 copies of your data in one Azure data center. You can only pick the country, so US, Canada, LATAM, and everything else is the same. So both Foundation and Advanced is immutable by default. We require encryption, so from a security perspective, it's very, very secure. full 24/7 support, and like I said, the API and egress fees are included. Now, the advanced, this could be for your primary or your secondary jobs. It is unlimited read and restore. The reason I say kinda is because it's technically per capacity per month. So if you buy 10 terabytes, you can restore up to that 10 terabytes each month. It is zone redundant storage, so you have one copy of your data in 3 different data centers. So it's a little bit more durable. And you can also choose the region. So east, west, central, you can get a little more granular in where you would like to put your data. But typically, it is all about how often are you going to be accessing this data. That's usually the driving force behind Foundation and Advanced. Now, like I mentioned, this is available in Azure and now AWS, and there's some differences here. Now, we're always going to recommend and lead with Azure, and that's mainly just because we've started this partnership with Azure. We've made an agreement with them. And also, Azure for Vault, honestly, is a little bit more baked into the product. So when you're going to add your Vault storage and you select Azure, in the Veeam server, it is listed as Vault, right? And this makes it, a little bit easier on the next finish. With AWS, for now, we're actually adding it in as AWS. So if you were to purchase AWS S3 storage directly, there is actually a namespace for AWS in the repository section. And it's no different for Vault, except for the fact that it's a Veeam storage account on the back end and all the benefits that I mentioned earlier. Now, one of the other nice things about using Azure Vault is in version 13 of backup and replication, you can do instant VM recovery to Azure. So you can do recovery to Azure or AWS, but only Vault for Azure gives you instant recovery to Azure. So this is a great option for DR if you don't have your own data center. Now, the authorization mechanism for Azure Vault is using Intra ID. We're creating app registrations on the back end. You don't really have to worry about all this. Veeam handles that, just kind of a little bit of the nerd language on the back end. But it does matter in terms of how you're creating your vaults and how you're assigning them, which we will get into. We are using your my.veeam account for authorization. Now, I do want to mention that this is changing soon. So today is December the 12th, 2025. And in this video, we're going to show how we create a subscription in Pulse and how that relates to our my.veeam account. That's going to change, and we are going to move away from using my.veeam. So if you're watching this video and it's like January of 2026, we've probably moved away from this. I'm going to put a link into the Help Center on this specific part, and it'll be updated. So by the time you watch this video, just take a look and see if we're still using my.veeam for Azure Vault or if we've moved to using Veeam Data Cloud directly. This makes a big difference, and I'll show you why later. Like I mentioned, Azure Vault shows up as Vault in the VBR GUI. So when you go to do all the settings, the immutability is already turned on. You don't even have to check the box, and you can't uncheck the box. In AWS, immutability is turned on the AWS side, so there's nothing you have to configure there. You don't even have that access anyway, but you just have to check the box. So it's not a big deal, but it's just one more thing to do. Azure Blob Vault works with Veeam Backup and Replication and Cloud Connect because of that is backup and replication. It's the same product, just a different functionality. It also works for Veeam Backup for Azure and Kasten, whereas AWS only works for Veeam Backup and Replication. Of course, all this could be subject to change. Now, the Pulse subscription. So this is what I was kind of talking about with the my.veeam, and when we get to the next section, I'll show you what I mean. Typically, when you create a license or a VDC subscription in Pulse, you would create it for the customer and assign that license to that customer. However, with Vault, because of the way we authorize with my.veeam and the Intra ID, whoever you assign this license to must have a my.veeam account and a support ID. So what that means, most customers that are managed by a service provider don't have a my.veeam or a support ID. That's why they have a service provider in the first place. So, and again, this is for now, and this is going to change. And I know it's confusing, but we're just trying to keep pace, right? So for now, when you go into Pulse and create your subscription only for Vault for Azure, rather than assigning the Vault license to a customer, you will assign it to yourself. If you are not already a customer in Pulse, you'll click New Customer and you will make a customer name that is exactly the same as how you are viewed in Pulse as a service provider. And I'm really stressing this because we're having a lot of issues, a lot of confusion where people are creating the license for the customer. So I'm just harping on that a little bit. And again, it'll be changing in most likely a few weeks. All right. In AWS S3 Vault, you are using storage account keys, right? And we're actually adding it in as AWS, like I mentioned. So you'll need to turn on immutability. You'll need to turn on encryption. Like I said, all of the security things to make that happen are done on the back end. So all the difficult stuff, but you'll still need to check the boxes. Also with AWS, make sure that you click the storage class. You need to change it to infrequent access. And do not use one zone. One zone is like a cheaper type storage anyway. Finally, we have block generation. So block generation is something that Veeam uses for immutability to reuse blocks. It does add some overhead to your storage. And for Azure Vault, it's 10 days of extra block generation. And for AWS, it's 30 days of block generation. So this is the number of days of extra that the data will be in those repositories. So something to consider there. That's it for this video. I'll see you in video 2 where we're going to get into the actual deployment of licensing and attaching to the Veeam server.